Greetings everyone, my name is ThatValve, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. During the last part, I covered 6 viewer submitted levels, so in this part I'll be covering at least 5 or 6 more viewer submitted levels, starting out with this one, Challenge Fort Part 4 by ThatValvePersonMabrick, with 10 plays and a score of 2. As always, if you want one of our levels to be featured in a part like this one, please leave both the level name and level ID either in the comments section below or direct message me on Twitter. Also, as always, the full disclaimer this entire LP series is linked in the description below. Also in the description are the timestamps for all the levels I cover in these parts, so if you want to check every levels covered, expand the description. So let's see how this fortress level compares with the previous 3 in the series. That could have gone pretty poorly if I went a little bit more to the left or right there. And just like all the previous levels, they are mostly doable buster only. Good checkpoint placement. Now one of these challenges. And there's me failing because I hit the side of that wall. Thank goodness there's a checkpoint over here. I mean, these are all doable buster only, but if you use stuff like the charge kick, you can make it a lot easier. Well, we have 2 routes. We can either take the upper route with count bombs, or the lower route underwater. Well, I guess it's time to bring out the skull barrier just in case. Well, I didn't really need it. That was a rather easy route overall. Oh, the lower route was the harder route because I would have gotten access to a second E-tank. Well, it isn't much of a major loss. These stages aren't usually that difficult. Or rather, most of the challenges which will cause you to die usually kill you in one hit. They don't whittle you down with enemy-based challenges. I see something to the left over there. Let's take a look. Oh, I see. Nah, I won't go for it. These stages aren't usually that difficult anyway. This is gonna be a slight problem. But that was all for naught. It was a lot easier than what I expected. I mean, I was also expecting the stage to go for at least 10 to 12 more screens long, or at least one more section, but here it is, ending now. And that was just poor jumping on my part. Unfortunately, his weakness is charge kick, and because there's spikes at the bottom, it makes it a bit more difficult to hit him that way. In fact, let's just use charge shots. I mean, he's content to just do this rain dance attack. There's only one more level in this series of 4 challenge stages, so we'll see how the final level compares to the rest. This is, I'd say, still easier than the second level of the series, but nonetheless, it was neat. I did like the challenges in place here, and I liked how if you use stuff like the elect beam and charge kick, it made your life a whole lot easier. And all of this is doable buster only by an intermediate player. This doesn't require an advanced Mega Man player to complete. Second up is SCWN-011 Airstrike Man by Jedox74 with 9 plays and a score of 2. So the next in this series of social contract worker numbers, I guess. And this is going to be at least 50 screens long. I echoed this earlier complaint, but sadly we do not have custom roadmasters. Based off the name, I guess this will be a military base stage or something. Let's play as Proto Man for a change. He doesn't take double damage after all, so that's wonderful. And I get the feeling that the charge shot is going to be super useful later on the line. Much more than base's double jumping. Because I get the impression that this stage is going to focus heavily on enemy-based challenges more than platforming challenges. If the stage focused more on platforming challenges, base would be better. I expect the key to be used for accessing a secret area or an extra special weapon, probably a secret area filled with an E and M tank. Like to the left over here. Thank you for the checkpoint. Okay, so just a full refill of weapons in an E tank. I would have hoped for an alternate pathway, but it's nice. I guess we're now inside of this military base or something. Now that I think about it, Napalm Man's team for the stage is rather appropriate, because that stage was a forest military base as well. And I do like the usage of the combination of the foreground and background tile sets. Another good checkpoint placement. Okay, nothing seems to be able to destroy the gyres. I guess that's accurate to their base game, because you can actually destroy the spines in most games, but not the gyres, and they're a smaller cousin to Byres. That may prove to be a problem in a future level. or until we gain access to the Slash Claw in Mega Man 7, once that's eventually added. Rats, I was foiled by that series of Yokel Box there. I thought I could skip the challenge by using the Protojet, but unfortunately I was juked. Some forced weapon usage here, unless I went by another route that doesn't require forced weapon usage. Strange, I guess that makes the stage a fortress level then. Because traditional levels don't force special weapon usage. But I guess we're at the end of the level. It had about 4 checkpoints, and I'd say it's about twice as long as the traditional level, but it was neat. I like the progression of how we started outside the military base, and how we went further and further inside of it. Too bad we don't have a unique Airstrike gimmick. Oh well, that's why I highly suggest that JetHawk74 participate in Magmal 3 once it's open. They have some pretty neat ideas that I'd like to see taken further, with some unique graphics, enemies, bosses, etc, etc. And now we're free-falling from the base, where we fight Magnet Man here. I don't think the brick drop was his weakness, but I already know about the trick of double hitting bosses with 2 pieces of the brick drop at the same time, doubling damage. Pretty nice level. And I feel that it didn't overstay its welcome, unlike Daibuman, which could have been shortened a bit. Nice work, JetHawk74. Third on the lineup is Little Trolls by Gamefuchs YouTube with 10 plays and a score of -3. So this is going to be a short troll level. I'm not sure if I'll be able to complete it though. This is going to be a pacifist stage where we need to survive with, I guess, 1 health. Yeah, 1 health. Prepare for trollish maneuvers. First one is, of course, this big fish trying to kill us. And the second big fish. Yeah, that's gonna be another problem to slip in there. Hopefully I won't die too much, either due to engine issues, because usually in these stages, it's the engine that causes most of my deaths. And to be fair, this is a troll level, so I should expect a lot of jerkish maneuvers. Like that, for example. I was grabbing onto the ladder, but of course, the input didn't register properly. Again, I'm trying to grab onto it, but it doesn't work. There we go, now it worked. That's how we're supposed to do it. And now time to reset because otherwise I'll instantaneously die. So this stage is forcing us to be at 1 health. And there's no way of getting past this anyway. Oh, okay, so we need to slide at the correct point. That's a bit scary there, but it works. That's actually a neat challenge that I'd like to see taken further in some other stages. Next room. You know, for a troll level it isn't that bad yet. I say yet. Of course, I was expecting that to happen. I need to grab onto the ladder there. This stage is really exploiting how well you know the Mega Man Maker engine works in some regards. And I should have expected that to happen as well. Silly me. At least there's a checkpoint behind every segment, so it doesn't go to Kaizo levels yet. And that's the end of the stage. It could have gone a lot worse, but it ended off here, so I will give the creator props for that. I understand why I got a score -3 because of all the trollish maneuvers, but even then, it isn't that bad, I'd say. Fourth on the lineup is Cutman Rage Easy Mode by Daibuman. Now, you may be wondering why I instantly started the stage here. Well, it's basically a different version of the Cutman Rage stage, or Cutman Update stage that I played a few parts ago. And because of this, I will not be able to complete it. It's called Easy Mode, but in reality, well, I'll show it later on. So damage boost as usual. And end up dying over there anyway. Well, I'll just end it off prematurely here because I already know in advance that I will not be able to complete it, especially for a future segment. So, here we are instantaneously in the level editor. These segments are about the same as they were before, maybe a few more spikes. But it's these following segments that have a lot more spikes. In Cutman Update, the following segment following here once you get into the green building and onwards are a lot easier, which I kind of complained about. That was rectified over here, and now the stage is much harder following this point. So much so that I know in advance that I will not be able to complete it. My apologies, Doggerman, but as I've said throughout this LP series, I'm not too fond of the really difficult Precision Maze challenge levels, and this is one of them. But hey, someone else may like it. Someone who's more attentive to that, similar to the more difficult Kaizo levels that are made in Mario Maker. And this fixes the problem of the rest of the stage being easier in Cutman Update. This is only really recommended for players who like a lot of challenge or who are really advanced and understand the mechanics of Mega Man Maker, specifically the spike hitboxes. Fifth level on the lineup is Crystal Space Station by Daibuman, with 50 plays and a score of 10. Now, Daibuman sent me a custom NSF musical track to play throughout their level. Instead of the usual music you hear from Mega Man Maker from Mega Man 1.3.6, this is Nitro Man's stage theme from Mega Man 10. And I do like how we have a different musical track than the usual bunch we hear in Mega Man Maker. If you submit a level to me and you want to have custom music sent, just send me the NSF file and I'll play it through your stage. So I guess this will be a traditional level just like most of Daibuman's stages. I guess the stage's gimmick will be the conveyor belts combined with the Dockrons, as well as the Cammons and other wheeled enemies. I guess that's why Nitro Man stage teams work here, because in that stage we have a whole bunch of enemies trying to run towards you or drive towards you and run you over. Now we're introducing the spinning tops in a safe environment first, and now in a much more dangerous environment. In fact, I'll just skip over it because I'm not sure I'll be able to make it. Okay, it's safer than what I expected. And now we have minibus roam against all these totem pollens, 6 of them. So drill bomb time. I mean, it does 2 shots each one of them, and it can hit multiple enemies at once. This is definitely a lot easier than their previous stage, by far. No rolling drill shenanigans. Is this a shortcut, or does this lead to an ERM tank? I get the feeling that this is a shortcut or something. After all, here you need to use Star Crash in order to make these jumps. Yeah, this was a shortcut. So let's see where this leads back to. Well, okay then. I'm gonna repeat the stage from this point because I want to see where the normal route leads to. It shouldn't be too far back anyway. And yikes, the drill bombs can just two-shot the Sniper Joes. That's a lot better than a dive missile, which requires 3 or 4 shots. Then again, the dive missile homes in on enemies, but we do get 28 drill bombs. Okay, now we have this challenge. I see, we're taking all across this room. Not too bad, though. Not as difficult as one of the spinning top challenges in the previous stage. Okay, this room. I need to slide off of here to survive. But once again, not too difficult as long as you pay attention. I guess this is a spike drop segment. Just stay in the center and you'll be fine. And there's the end of the level. I definitely like this a lot more, a lot smoother, and I like the musical track better. And the gimmicks, of course. Too bad we can't face Nitro Man. It'll be a while before we get Mega Man 10 assets, probably at least 1 or 2 years, knowing the rate of development here. We'll probably get more Mega Man 11 assets before Mega Man 10, knowing the release of that. Oh, okay, we need to get up here. I think it's a drill bomb, if I can... No, it's not drill bomb. Okay, the only other weakness I can think of is Star Crash. Or he doesn't have any weakness, so just use Mega Buster. So let's try this again. This boss room does make the fight a bit more difficult, what with the conveyor belts over here and on those platforms. Not to mention he's firing all those crystals. This would be a lot easier if we're playing as Proto Man. Nonetheless, that was the end of Crystal Space Station, and whoa, that was close. Thank you for sending me the NSF file replacement. Like I mentioned, feel free to send me NSF file replacements if you want custom musical tracks. They don't necessarily even need to be from a Mega Man game, just make sure it's safe for work. So overall, I like this stage. I'd say it's currently my favorite level to part overall. The next 4 levels are all stages by MeeM. Usually I'd only cover up to 2 to 3 levels by the same author, but these are rather short. These are all the Contra stage recreations from stages 5 through 8. So 6th up is the stage 5 recreation by MeeM with 12 plays and a score of 4. Might as well all cover them in a bunch. And of course we have the Metal Blade because with that we can fire in 8 different directions. And just like in Contra, this is the ice stage. Once again, checkpoint placement's a lot more generous, and this is a lot easier than in Contra, because, well, we don't die in one hit, and we don't lose our better weapons upon dying. And checkpoint placement is a lot more generous, too. And of course, Mega Man walks a lot faster than Bill Riser does. I guess that's one of the reasons why these recreations feel shorter. And here we fight Charge Man. The only way you can attack us is by dropping all those coal pieces. Or getting attacked by the Duckrons. So that was the end of the Stage 5 recreation. I know there's a boss fight here at the end, but of course all of them are easier. So on to the Stage 6 recreation with 2 plays and a score of 0. I don't know why we need a checkpoint over here, but okay then. I mean, the stage didn't even start yet. And there's no long intro crawl or falling down, so... okay then. Whoops. I don't think that was intended there. A similar thing happened on the Crystal Desert stage by Rafa, where I slid into the base character switcher and then I immediately got shunted off screen. Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. I'll give it one more go, then I'll disable the stage as unbeatable. Okay, now it decided to work. I was half expecting to get shunted off screen, but then it decided to work. Thanks, engine. You almost made this stage unbeatable. Hopefully that's fixed in another hotfix, because that's a major bug. That shouldn't happen. Also, if you're wondering, base does not have the ability to double jump here. We can dash jump though. Time to fight Ringman and oh boy. At least we have a hard boss fight now. Phew, I did it. I died 4 times off screen. This was certainly a lot more difficult than any of the stage recreation bosses, I will give it that. And this demonstrates why I really do not like fighting Ringman without having a charge shot. It's just super annoying, especially because of how random of how far he throws his rings are. And the server decides to double error out on me. Contra Stage 7 recreation by MeeM, 5 plays and a score of 2. Only 1 more left. And thankfully the boss is Bubble Man, so it shouldn't be as bad. And the stages themselves aren't that difficult, the last stage notwithstanding. I would have rather preferred if those E-tanks were in the previous level. At least one of them. Anyways, time to fight Bubbleman and his guards. Once again, it's really easy. So I guess that was this stage, nothing more to say about it. So 9th and final level of the part is Contra Stage 8 recreated by MeeM, 8 plays and a score of 0. So now we're in the Red Falcon alien base, I suppose. Sadly, we do not have the alien environment. Well, we might as well play his base. Oh, I should have used treble boost in the previous fight. That was probably Ringman's weakness. Okay, if you actually take the base power up there, you're soft locked because you can't slide into there. So ignore that, that's a trap. I don't think that was intended though. I think they intended to put the Mega Man character switch block to the left. And now we're facing the final boss, basically Bubbleman instead of the alien brain. If I can kill off this cannon, I'd be really happy. There we go. Oh, poor Bubbleman. In most of his encounters, or rather all of the encounters in the series, he's stuck crying and completely helpless as we kill him repeatedly. At least this is the greatest challenge we ever encountered against Bubbleman. So, I guess it works. I mean the series, not Bubbleman himself. So that's the end of Contra Stage recreations. As a whole, this series was rather short and easy and forgettable. It feels like these stages were almost directly lifted from the original Contra games, but they weren't adjusted to take into consideration Mega Man's increased movement speed. And the checkpoint placement was super generous, more so than others. And most of the boss fights, 7 out of 8 of them, were rather easy. The only exception was Ringman at the end of Contra Stage 6, but that's of course because it's Ringman, and we didn't have access to charge shots because we were playing his base, nor double jumps, nor an E-Tank. We had a lot of E-Tanks in Stage 7 that should have been moved to Stage 6. Plus we had that odd glitch in Stage 6 that almost made it unbeatable due to engine wonkiness. So there's that, as well as the soft lock potentially at the beginning of Stage 8. So yeah, kind of bleh for me and forgettable. So overall, out of the 9 levels I played in this part, my favorite level would definitely be Crystal Space Station by Daibuman. Well then, in the next part, I'll be covering several more viewer submitted levels. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Toodles!